Okay, so today I want to take a look at the narrative. Today I want to look at the story. All of these readings about world events are implying that the things that are happening to form a story. It's like these things have to happen in order for this story to be formed. And once the story is formed, I don't really know what happens. I guess that's just everyone on Earth being fucking brainwashed. But the narrative is like the point of all the things that are happening. So let's just see what we got going on here. All right, I guess that's fine. A root card of the Ace of Cups, which is the acceptance of happiness on any level. Three of Wands, this is the slow growing energy. So, all right. So, if we're talking about the narrative or the story that is being formed out of the events that are happening, so this is a long term deal, right? There's a lot of energy that's put into this over a long period of time to form a specific story. I just want to see the ground here that the wands are growing in. Well, we get the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands is about creative solutions to old problems. It's about using a couple different things together to kind of form a new tool. The Two of Wands did show up in my original reading about whether or not Russia would invade Ukraine, and that thing showed a Two of Cups turning into a Two of Wands. So it's like taking emotional connections and turning it into tools. So here we have the tools, and that's kind of the ground in which this long-term energy grows. So a 2 growing into a 3. Um, all right. So here the wands grow. Let's look at the parent. Like, what is the parent of the story that is being told? And we get the Temperance card. Wow. So the Temperance card is about, normally at least, it's about greater understanding. Um, Taking two things that are not the same and kind of blending them into one thing. It's a blending of opposites. Now, generally, what is happening, everyone is being told a different story. I mean, it depends on where you are. There is an overarching theme of like good versus evil that is being told to us, and depending on where you are, you're getting a different version of who is good and who is evil. But it's like a simplistic, fucking cartoonish good versus evil story that's being told, and that simplistic story is bullshit. And it doesn't matter which version of it you're getting a massively distorted version of the truth. And here we would have these two different stories sort of being blended together into one thing. So the parent of the story is the blending of the two stories. That's not good enough for me, so I'm going to pull another card to find out more about this angel here. And it's the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is the businessman, so this is the investor. Now, the King of Pentacles is pretty common in these readings, and it's also one of the main motivators of the stuff that's going on. And the King of Pentacles is the businessman. It's the rich dude, right? So here, when we look at the parent of the energy that is the narrative, so it's this blending together of two different things, but when I look at kind of who is this fucking angel that's doing this, well, it's the King of Pentacles and the businessman. So this is like the rich people and the people that would, own all of the assets and all of the stuff. So they would basically be telling this story. Now, if we go back here to the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Cups is about the acceptance of happiness. And this actually did show up in the World Economic Forum, the Great Reset reading. So as a root card, the Ace of Cups is saying that the story that is being formed, it has a primary motivation of allowing acceptance of happiness, which is interesting. This isn't evil by nature. This is like trying to get to a place where we can be happy, right? And then it shows up this way. And none of these cards here are particularly evil either. The King of Pentacles can be kind of a dick, but the King of Pentacles is just the wise investor. Now, let's see, taking a look at this story and this narrative, let's take a look and see what the effect that it has on people. And the card that comes out is the Fool. So, this would go back into a great reset. The Fool would show a new beginning, right? The effect that it has on people, I mean, there's one way you could read it in that it keeps people stupid, and I do believe that that's true. People think they know something about something that they don't know shit about. They're just fed a completely distorted version of a cartoon based on the truth, But here, the effect that it has on people is a reset. It's a reset to zero. And it's a new beginning. So considering that the world that we have been living in, there's a lot of elements in that world that are pretty fucked up. If we look at a reset, that might be a good thing. I'm just going to pull one more card to follow up the Fool, and we get the Two of Cups. So, if it went right from the Fool to something terrible, it would be like a reset into something awful. And here, the Two of Cups is about openness. And again, this also is one of the cards that showed up for the original Ukraine invasion reading. It showed the Two of Cups into the Two of Wands. But here, this is the Fool moving into the Two of Cups. With a root of the Ace of Cups, it looks like the story that is being told is actually meant to do something good for humanity. And I cannot fathom how that would possibly be the case. But that is what we have here. Now, maybe... Actually, I'm going to look at one more thing. Because there's been a bunch of things that have implied that this story that is being told or formed or whatever, it seems kind of like a prophecy. So let's just see if the story that's being told is being told to fulfill a prophecy. Because that's the only way that I would see this as being like valid at all. Let's just see. So we get Death reversed. The Death card would be clearing the table to give birth to something new. And Death reversed is the old pattern or the old child that's trying to force its way back in. So, to the question of is the story a prophecy, um, I maybe, because this would show a cycle. This is like a cycle that would be beyond our control. Now, here, this would be an old child that is coming back. And this could be setting the stage for, like, let's say the old gods returned or something like that. And maybe that's a cycle that happens every 50,000 years or some shit. So this looks like it would be kind of like that. A prophecy, well, at least priming people so this old child can return. Um, fascinating, fascinating stuff. It looks like when the old child returns, it looks like maybe things will get kind of better for people. So who knows what that means, but that's what we get.